So, Pedro, here we go. Let's talk about the Dubai Business Classics, your new project, which you will be launching very soon. What was inspiration?
Well, I think I've always been a little bit curious about the possibility of creating content, and I just never really thought that with all the options that are out there, that I had much to add. But then one day I thought, well, actually, there is a great interest about Dubai. There is a great interest overall about business. I personally like to watch a lot of podcasts about business, and I thought, well, I've been in Dubai for 17 years, doing a lot of sales, contract negotiation, networking, lobbying, wheeling and dealing, out there hustling. And I thought, actually, I've met so many interesting people that have great stories to tell. And Dubai is a place that creates so much interest for business people. Why not showcase some of the success stories that I know, so that people might find interest and helpful insights on their process of setting up their own business in Dubai. So that was kind of like the trigger. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of an experiment. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but we will see soon enough.
That's lovely. Actually, I have a interesting question about how did you feel the first episodes? Were you nervous?
I was a little bit nervous. I must say the truth, and I, in fact, feel like my nervousness got perceived a little bit by my guest, and I thought that he was also a bit more tense than he usually is. He's someone that I know fairly well. In fact, one of the little tricks about this first season was just to invite people that I know really well, so that I felt comfortable enough and knew enough about what they do to kind of like keep it interesting. And I felt like he was a little bit tense. Mm-hmm. Now, the order in which we shot the episodes throughout the season is not the order in which the episodes are going to be released.
Right.
So I think it would be fun for people to try and guess which one was the first episode in which I'm the most tense.
Oh, that's actually interesting. It can be like a challenge, for the viewers to define, let's say, first, second, and third episodes that were filmed in a row.
We don't have any prizes, but it's it could be fun.
It's okay. We will find the prizes.
Okay.
Lovely. So, talking about the guests, right? Whose story was the most interesting? I would say not just interesting, but fascinating, and the one that might shocked you.
Well, I think that overall, all the stories are quite interesting, and the whole process of growing those businesses and these people cementing themselves as businessmen in this market, and businesswomen, obviously. It was all very interesting. I thought that there's so much talent and so much charisma with pretty much every single guest that we had on the show. But I would say that I find it very interesting when people have a lot of data to share. When they come and they talk about like the whole structure of the business, what motivated them, what were the facts that they based their decisions on. There's a certain amount of questions that I've avoided making because I don't know how much people are willing to share about certain aspects of their businesses. But when people take the initiative and they just explain everything. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh, your competitors are going to love this information. When they start laying out strategy and all that, I think it's great. I think it's really, really interesting. I try to open the door for people to share as much as they can, but when they share a lot, obviously I find that very interesting.
So how would you describe this season in 3 words?
Well, intense, lots of fun, and that's definitely been a learning process for me, and so I felt like I've exposed myself. So that's the part where I find it a little bit intense now, because I don't know like what type of scrutiny or how people are going to perceive it. But I had lots of fun. The guests, almost every single time when we finished the episode, they said, "This was super fun. When can we do it again?" So that's quite rewarding. And obviously, I've learned a lot about the whole process. I learned about a lot about some of the industries and some of the businesses that we showcased. And I learned a lot about these people also, and how they think, and like what drives them. So I think it's really cool.
So do you think about the second season?
I'm hoping that this was interesting enough for me to feel motivated to shoot another season. But then that's all kind of a reaction from the audience. If people engage, if people like it, if they watch it, if they comment, then I've had lots of fun. So I'm happy to do more. If it's relevant, right? If it's not relevant, then what's the point? It can't be just for me.
No, I'm sure it would be really insightful podcast for people, because I used to also sit here and listen, like a backstage about people telling their story. And from my perspective, it was really insightful because, like a small spoiler, you covered many and many different industries.
Yes.
So, which is really good for people to hear about it and to learn a little bit more, because I believe for every entrepreneur, it's good to know some insights about, different spheres.
I've tried to cover as many industries as possible. I try to diversify when it comes to nationalities, so that to understand the different kind of like backgrounds and journeys of each one. So I've tried to diversify as much as possible. I had some ladies, I had men coming. I think that the one thing that was maybe not so diverse is in terms of age. I think the age gap has been more or less the same, but then again, as I mentioned, I went to my kind of like network, my group of friends, people that have been here a very long time. I also didn't want to take the risk of bringing people that I didn't know enough about them as a businessman or their business, their reputation in the market, because I much rather promote people that I know that have great reputation and they're doing a great job in the market. So, but the goal will be definitely, if I do another season, to try and get a bit more youth, maybe people from different generations, and see what their goals are, what their ideas, what their projects are.
Nice. So from your perspective, what do you think was the common pattern between all of the guests, like in their stories?
I think that probably their drive, their ability, their talents to run a business, and then their determination. Like pretty much every single person told me it's about hard work, doing what you like, having a plan, and then just put your head down and just push through. And forget about the noise. You got your goals, you believe in yourself, and you just pursue it. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this season, is to see how a lot of these people, against all the odds, they managed to create great businesses, because Dubai has not always been roses. There's been ups and downs, and throughout the season we talk a lot about the different crises that we've been through. The financial crisis in 2008. We had a big impact here also when we had the Arab Spring. More recently, the war in Ukraine and in Palestine, obviously, and all these things, they end up having a great impact on the population of Dubai, and the amount of businesses and the amount of construction, the amount of everything. It's got its ups and downs, and there's always different challenges from each one of those events.
Yeah, I believe it's very inspiring to hear the stories when people, they didn't give up and they continued what they do. And especially I remember that episode about, as you told, about the crisis and how that person, he stayed, he didn't leave the country. He went through all of this and he raised, and now his company is one of the greatest.
Yeah, there was more than one. Obviously, some industries were more impacted than others. We had an example, for instance, with Dr. Ray from the Cat Vet, where his business actually went up because people were spending more time with their pets at home, so they were paying more attention to the needs of the pets. But other industries that were related to construction, for instance, they were suffering. Yeah, it
Big
was not
time.
easy. Yeah.
Nice. So Pedro, I have a quick game for you, like a quiz.
Okay.
So you have to choose one
Okay.
out of two. All right? You ready?
I don't know. Let's see.
All right. So growth or profitability?
Profitability.
Start in Dubai or expand to Dubai?
I would say start in Dubai and expand for the rest of the world.
All right. Okay. Fail fast or play it safe?
Well, you should always play safe, but if you're going to fail, at least fail the fastest possible so that you can move on to the next project.
Okay, that makes sense. Solo founder or co-founder?
I would prefer to be a co-founder. I like to work in teams.
10 loyal customers or one giant client?
10, always. The more the merrier.
Launch first, not launch as a food, but to launch the project, yes, first. Perfect later or perfect later first, launch later?
I think that the thrive for perfection puts a lot of people off from taking risks. And I also think that first you solve problems and then you optimize things. So I would go launch first and then search for improvement, for constant improvement.
Right. Yeah. Legacy or impact?
Maybe I'll go with legacy because I don't know if the impact could be good or bad. So I'll take the safe route.
Fair enough. Fame or influence?
Influence is productive. Fame is just like doesn't mean anything.
Change the game or master the rules?
I'd say my personality is more about mastering the rules than changing the game.
The last question. Lead quietly or inspire loudly?
Being inspirational is not easy, but it's less of a responsibility and it can be more rewarding. Leading can be very hard and very, very tiring and always having a very big responsibility on your shoulders. So although I'm not afraid to lead, I would prefer to be inspirational.
Lovely. That's great. So, Pedro, to be honest, personally, I'm so excited for this season. I'm actually waiting till it's gonna be there, and I hope everyone can find something insightful and helpful for them in your season. And I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, me too. And I think that's what it's all about, is for people to enjoy it. It's kind of like bite-size type of content, so it's not extremely long, so it doesn't go in as much depth as you could when you're talking about business. But I think that in every episode, people will be able to relate. They will be able to find motivation. They will be able to learn about Dubai, learning about the way business is done here, and take some advice from the people that have been doing it really well for a number of years. Thank you very much.
Thank you.